Cafe, where ideas they trade, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He's a sushi founder who replaced a daily monster energy with mushrooms, building a real remedy to fix America's supplement industry, none other than Mr. Benjamin Bressington.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Welcome, Mr. Benjamin on Abstract Essay, and we are fabulous like you. And can you please introduce more about yourself? That I am.
Yeah, so I'm just now a lover of mushrooms, and I just help people understand how they can enter the world of holistic health, leveraging mushrooms for their life and for healing. So one of the great things that's driving us right now is feeding over 1 million people a year with our mushroom products that we're creating. So we're creating mushroom meals, mushroom jerky, and we've got some amazing mushroom tinctures that help give you energy, give you mental clarity, or even help you sleep and relax in the evening. So whole mix of things that we empower people with now, all about holistic healing.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Ben. Thank you. And today let's talk about from Fortune 1000 consultant to medicine man why mushrooms beat coffee for sustainable energy. So tell us, what is a dramatic pivot from the high stake, data driven world of consulting to the ancient intuitive path of a medicine man? What is the defining moment or fatigue point that made you question the entire framework of your corporate energy?
Yeah, well, one of the big things would obviously be burnout, right? Project
Mm-hmm.
burnout or business burnout. When you're working on big projects that may be multi-year, multi-million dollar projects, and the effort required to launch some of those, it's usually taken for granted. And those long weeks, those 80-hour weeks back to back, just things stacking through, not taking the time to balance life's priorities, right? Which causes that burnout and then makes you realize, well, what am I doing this all for?
Yes, what I'm doing. So, as a consultant, you were trained to optimize systems. How did you apply the same analytical lens to your own biology and ultimately conclude that coffee was suboptimal energy system?
Well, one of the things was that mushroom energy is actually what they call a clean energy. And I'm a big lover of coffee still. I still enjoy my nice latte or espresso shot. But one of the things I found is that in the world of mushroom coffees, a lot of the mushroom coffees really sucked. And many people were just telling us how ineffective they were, or they just didn't feel anything. And after I did years of research into what was going on with them, I really kind of found out that the mushroom industry or the mushroom coffee industry was a bit of a lie because they kind of contain a fart's worth of mushrooms. That's the technical term. And as a result, when you're having them, it doesn't work out. And one of the things I always thought fascinating was they always kind of taste like crap. They really suck. So what if you could have the coffee you love, but we're able to turn that coffee into a superfood? And then that put us on the quest of creating what we call our micro boosters. Because now we can turn anything you have, a smoothie, a tea, a coffee, into a superfood. And then you're now not giving up something for something that tastes worse. You're actually enjoying something and making it open a new part of your mental capabilities. And that's really what we're working towards. It's like, how do you leverage your current human behaviors, the things you do now, but just add a tweak to it to turn it into a superpower?
A superfood indeed. And Mr. Ben, was there specific client, project, or culture in the Fortune 1000 world that crystallized the need of a different kind of fuel, not just for you, but perhaps the entire environment?
Well, it was just that burnout energy in total, and I didn't realize the cycle of the caffeine sugar crash cycle that you're going through, and what happens is you kind of need 3 coffees to get going in the morning, or you need 4 coffees, or then you need more sugary snacks and sweets. And that crash you're always chasing, but also the hormonal impact that actually has on your stomach issues and the stomach sensitivity with all this caffeine that we're having. It You end up paying the price for it at a stomach level that most people aren't aware until later in life. And it's certainly something that, yeah, once you've had it, really start to understand the consequences of that on your body.
The term medicine man carries a deep cultural and spiritual weight. How does you reconcile or honor the tradition with your modern science-based exploration of functional mushrooms?
Yeah, so one of the things I got lucky enough to be was exposed to a whole bunch of Native American medicine men and women. And through that process of education and learning about the holistic approach and how traditional Native American medicine men and women would treat and work with the body's holistic healings. We kind of brought that and I've kind of combined that with the mesh of new science. So we're bringing old technologies, kind of like our spagyric alchemy, which is a 500-year-old process for extracting some of the most potent and bioavailable mushroom tinctures or plant tinctures available known to man. And bringing that into the modern world and bringing it into modern products. So we even bring that into our gummy line, for example. So in comparison to what our competitors have, you'd have one of our gummies can equal 8 to 12 of our competitors' gummy because they're just more potent. So that's bringing old science and new science and merging them together to create a better customer or client experience.
On the way of mushrooms versus coffee, Mr. Ben, let's define sustainable energy. Beyond just avoiding a crash, what does it feel like in your mind and body compared to a sharp, anxious alertness of a caffeine bout?
Yeah, so it's the big difference is what we call clean energy. So you're not chasing the jitters, you're not chasing the crash. You're actually feeling motivated and empowered, so you can get through the day. But you've got clear thought, clear focus, and that clean energy doesn't have you also then chasing sugar or chasing snacks or chasing other things to fuel the energy because of what's going on at the chemistry level of the body and chasing those caffeine crashes. So clean energies takes a little bit for people to get used to, particularly if they're used to energy drinks and things like that. So it's just rewiring the body and working more within the body's natural process.
Interesting, Mr. Ben. Coffee is a stimulant that blocks adenosine. How do functional mushrooms like lion's mane or the reishi works differently in the body to promote energy and focus?
Yeah, so one of the big difference between caffeine and cordyceps as the mushroom for energy, for example, is caffeine will actually tell your body to you need energy. And what it does is it fakes that energy, and that's why you usually crash somewhere between 40 minutes to 2 hours later. You have a crash after you've had that coffee, where mushroom-based energy actually tells the body to produce energy, and the body then starts to produce energy for the next 2 to 6 hours, depending on how much of that mushroom supplement you've actually had. And so that gives you that clean energy. So your body's actually producing energy, not just acting like it's got energy when it doesn't, and therefore it crashes. And that's why usually people who have coffee all throughout the week find that on the weekend, they end up getting really tired. They have anxiety. They have additional stresses because everything kind of like catches up to them on the weekend, and they're kind of more burnt out on the weekend, and they need those days to recover, so they can fuel themselves through that next week.
Fuel themselves. Yes. Wow, I like that. Mr. Ben, you say mushrooms beat coffee. In what specific scenario? High pressure negotiation, creative brainstorm, a long term endurance. Does the coffee still have a place, if any?
Yeah, 100%. Like coffee is still fantastic. There's still a lot of research with coffee. the use of caffeine. And one of the things you can do is just by adding the right mushroom mixtures to your coffee, you can turn it into a superfood. So you can actually have your coffee, for example, give you 4 to 6 hours of smooth, clean energy with mental clarity. You can add a second booster, which we call our uplift one, which helps with your mood and immunity. So now imagine if the coffee you're drinking is actually helping your body fight off infections and be stronger throughout the day. So you're actually happier. So not only are you feeling the energy, but now you're also feeling a mood boost and immunity. That's what's possible with this little shot. And then if you add the performance, you're and then opening your mind with lion's mane, you're having more mental clarity, you're reducing the mental fog, you're reducing the need for caffeine, plus you're actually turning that coffee into 4 to 6 hours of smooth energy. So just by combining these two into your coffee or having a shot as you have your coffee, you've taken something you already love and enjoy and savor, and now you're turning it into a super fuel for your body. So yeah, I believe it still has a place. It's just we believe you shouldn't have to drink crappy coffee because life is too short for shitty coffee.
Life is too short, people. Yes, true. Life is too short, and enjoy your day or whatever you're doing. For the skeptical executives, what would a double blind trial on your own life look like? What measurable outcomes convince you to this superior?
Yeah, so one of the big things is it's just like, well, working on something that makes a difference in people's life. We have people every single day who tell me they're now sleeping better, they've got off their mood stabilizers, their body is healthier, they're no longer getting as sick, they've got the energy. I've got 77-year-old people who call me and go, you know what? I no longer have to have a nap to get through my life. And I now have time for my grandkids in the afternoon when they come to see me or when I go to see them. And they've got more energy to be experiencing their life. So they're experiencing life at a richer level. And hearing that feedback, that testimonial, that those reports from our clients every single day is one of the big motivating factors for us doing the work we do.
Yes, definitely. And Mr. Ben, on the science and tradition, are we talking about psilocybin or containing mushroom here, or purely functional adaptogenic varieties? And how you address the legal and cultural baggage that comes with the word mushroom in a corporate setting?
Yeah, that's really fascinating because everything we do is on the legal side, the functional side of the mushrooms. We're not in the world of psilocybin at this point in time, or those psychedelics, or the magic of mushrooms, they call them. But the research that's going on in that industry is actually quite significant, and there's going to be some phenomenal things coming down the road for any mushroom lover on that. But yeah, everything we do is functional mushrooms. It is legal. There's only one state in the US we can't ship to, and that's Louisiana. But we already do ship our mushroom supplements all around the world. We ship them to people all around the world, and they absolutely love them. So it all depends on some of the products we can't ship internationally, but most of our products we can. And it's just because of the different restrictions or what have you in each state or each country, they can be a little bit different. But yeah, most of the functional mushrooms that people are used to, unfortunately, are not what we would call a clinical dose. So when they do the research and the clinical trials, they kind of use a certain dosage and it's always the same. But in the world of marketing and sales, what they do is they take that clinical research and then give you lion's mane, for example, but they don't give you the clinical dose. They give you far less. And as a result, people go, well, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel more clear. I didn't feel more energy. And it was all because a potency and a dosage issue. And it's one of the most important things I think we need to teach people about when they're understanding their mushrooms and their mushroom supplements is that not all mushroom supplements are created the same.
Yes, definitely. They are not the same, people. This seems to be about more than biochemistry. What did ancient tradition understand about sustainable energy and connection to nature that our modern productivities culture has completely forgotten?
Yeah, one of the big things was the extraction methodology that we use this spagyric extraction process. And through that process, we're actually using the whole mushroom. We're running it through a water solution, we're running it through an alcohol solution, and then we're actually calcifying it. We're burning back that entire mushroom back in to add the minerals and the salts to therefore make it one of the most potent ways for people to actually create tinctures, herbal tinctures, the holistic medicine tinctures. And that makes it around 95% bioavailable, according to some research, which means your body is able to extract more of the life force energy from the real mushrooms, which is a massive difference. So, and then that's just one of the many reasons why, as a company with what we're building, we don't compromise on the quality of our products. Because if we can create the best possible product that our clients can experience, everything is easier. And then they feel better. And when they feel better, they tell people what's making them feel better. And it creates a better circle for everybody.
Better circle for sure. And how do you respond to someone who says, "This just sounds like swapping one crotch for
Yeah,
another"?
well, yeah, well, that's why we tell everyone we're working with to try our products first, and that's why we actually have a sample kit that people can get access to. They just pay shipping. We don't even charge them. We give them like $125 worth of products for free. All they have to do is pay the shipping. They pay $9.99. They get all of these products. They get a 3 day supply of products, and they can actually try it for themselves to see what it's like on their body and what does real quality mushroom supplements actually feel like, or what should it feel like? And most people are blown away with how potent these are and the impact it can have on their life.
I'm interested to that, Mr. Ben. I want to grab that opportunity and try the power of mushroom. So tell us what us or walk us through the typical energy protocol now. What does your morning ritual look like, and how does it set a different tone for your day compared to old grab coffee and dive into emails?
Yeah, so my vertigo. Sorry, as I
Bless
sneeze.
you. Bless you.
So yeah, so I usually start the day with two energy gummies, and that gives me 6 to 8 hours of smooth energy. And there's no sugar in this. This is what we use xylitol as the sweetener, which
Mhm.
is from the birch bark tree. Most people don't know that, and it's a fantastic alternative. And this gives you some nice, clean energy. When I'm still a coffee drinker. I still enjoy my coffee or my tea in the morning. I'll usually have what I call my perform and my uplift. And so that way I'm getting an energy powerhouse as well as my mental cognition. And I'm also then boosting my immune system so I don't get sick. So I combine those two. And then that's then before bed. What usually happens is I'll have my relief, which has got the ashwagandha in it, and it's fantastic for recovery, dealing with inflammation, helping deal with stress and anxiety. And a lot of people who have PTSD or struggle with sleep tell me that this has been a life changer, a complete game changer for them. And then every now and again, if I'm having trouble sleeping or I've had a really stressful day or I can feel like I'm dealing with something, I'll have one of our relax amanita gummies, which is the way it feels to me is like within about 20 minutes or so, it feels like I've been wrapped in a weighted blanket and I have some of the best sleep of my life with these here. And so that's pretty fantastic. So that's the protocol. That's what the day looks like. It's very, very simple. And the way we've designed the protocol of around our 3 bottles is you can pick and choose what you need. So some days you may not need more mental energy because you're focusing on the day. You got some big assignments to do. You got work. You've got marketing materials. You got meetings. You might need to have a shot of this at lunchtime as well. Or some days you just know you're going to have some crappy meetings. You got to make some crappy phone calls. You got to deal with like the stress of life, and you may need to double shot on the uplift to help support your mood, to help deal with that stress, help deal with that anxiety. And at the end of the day, you just get to come home, relax, and enjoy the relief. And if this is perfect for anyone who's been doing any fitness, looking for recovery, muscle recovery, all of that type of stuff. So I've got a lot of tennis professionals or sporting professionals who use our perform, I should say. And from that, they say that the cordyceps in this actually increase their oxygen supply in their bloodstream, which they tell me it becomes like a competitive advantage for them to be more successful at what they're doing.
The most successful, and thank you for sharing. That, Mr. Ben, so for a consultant or a leader living on planes and in client meetings, what is the most practical travel friendly way to make this shift? Is it structures, powders, or in shaker?
Yeah, well, one of the best things that people can do is just actually have these tincture liquids and that just take these. Because these 1 ounce, or yeah, these 2 ounce bottles, they actually just have that and they can just take a dropper. They don't have to worry about mixing it with water. They don't have to worry about the powders getting contaminated. And actually, just having the dropper is one of the best ways to do it. Or if you don't want to travel with these droppers, even though I travel with them internationally, you can easily just have the gummy form, and the gummy form is very, very powerful.
The gummy form. I like the gummy form, Mr. Ben. And what is the hardest part of the transition of coffee, where there are withdrawal symptoms, or not just a physical, but perhaps social or identity based?
Yeah, so some of the things you got to be asking yourself is why are you having the coffee? What are you trying to do? Sometimes some people can do it at a social level. Some people don't realize that they're reaching for 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee a day. And a lot of people tell me that like they're drinking coffee, and some of them don't actually enjoy drinking. It's just because it's easier. It became that habit or that routine, and making tea was complicated, for example, or they didn't have other options. So it requires them to start thinking about how do I actually have some other water options, for example, to be having other options to drink. So sometimes it's just the process. And also, well, if in your office environment, if people only drink coffee, for example, then everyone seems to drink coffee. It's all about you having to say what's best for your body and what works for your regime.
And Mr. Ben, beyond allergy, what was the most unexpected benefits, mental, emotional, or even spiritual, you discovered from making this switch?
Yeah, well, one of the big things was mood. So less depression, easier focus and clarity to be able to make just peace with the decisions you're making in life. And that was some of the big things that made a massive difference, just were unexpected for sure. So having calm peace and happiness with that was really satisfying.
Satisfying indeed. And Mr. Ben, your journey implies that our search for shortcuts and hacks lead us to wrong places. Is it ultimate sustainable energy sources, not a substance at all, but a different relationship with our own bodies and natural world?
Yeah, it's one of the big things about understanding what your body needs and wants and what's actually best for your body, short term and long term. Because I think sometimes it's easier to reach for those energy drinks, those sugary snacks. You get a short term fix, but you pay the long term consequence.
And Mr. Ben, what does this shift say about our definition of performance? Are we optimizing for traffic output or to grounded, creative, resilient insight?
Yeah, well, that's one of the big things you got to really be asking yourself. What are you looking to achieve from the supplements you're getting? And how do you track what's working for you? I always tell people that. There's always going to be cheaper options with your supplements, but you have to understand that you get what you pay for in today's world. And just because it's cheaper doesn't make it better. If we could make our products cheaper, I know we certainly would, but it would also mean that would have to be compromising on the quality and the integrity of the product we have. So with everything we do, there's no fillers, no synthetics. We say it's all power and no compromise. So you have to ask yourself is like, where are you willing to compromise, or what compromise are you willing to accept? And I think in the world of health and nutrition, we actually want to be accepting less compromise rather than more, which is what we seem to be getting from the medical establishment.
Mr. Ben, as a bridge between two seemingly opposed worlds, what is the most valuable lesson the medicine man path has taught you about being effective consultant and vice versa?
Yeah, so one of the big ones is look at the bigger picture. So there's a holistic perspective of the entire body. Yes, you may have a pain, you may have a problem, but there's multiple causes for that. And assessing all of that before you create a plan of attack or look for a quick fix solution, because sometimes people are fixing a pain or a symptom, but it's not the cause. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have is some of the biggest symptoms or causes are actually hidden behind multiple layers of symptoms.
Multiple layers. Okay, so Mr. Ben, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101 Review, Music 101 fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101 is second season, Alma Baby Podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. And of course, my Entrepreneur 101 this coming December. So please tune in and please do listen. All these podcasts, wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Ben, if someone takes only one thing from your story, should it be to try mushroom coffee, or is there a deeper, more fundamental principle about energy and work that you hope they can grasp?
Yeah, so I would say, you don't need a mushroom coffee. No, you don't want a mushroom coffee. What you want to look for is a mushroom supplement that is using spagyric-based extraction. That's some of the most potent bioavailable form of mushroom extraction that's on the market to date. And make sure it's using fruiting body. So that's the actual fruit of the mushroom, not the rice or mycelium grain. It's totally different, and it's a way companies compromise on their production quality. So if quality and the impact of the supplements you're taking matter, I would say spagyric first, and always be looking at. It's all about potency and bioavailability. It doesn't need to have 50 mushrooms in it. It doesn't need to have 10,000 milligrams, particularly if your body cannot process it because it's using synthetic fillers. It doesn't matter if it had 1,000,000 grams in it because your body just wouldn't be able to consume it. So um, that's what I'd be recommending to people. Look for spagyric, look for fruiting bodies, and find a quality mushroom supplier that allows you to test their products, sample their products, find something that works for you. And once
Mhm.
you find it working for you, make the most of it.
Mm. Made the most of it. He stopped the 3 a.m. panic session. Oh wow. Coffee is not working anymore. Your brain is stuck in neutral. So, Mr. Ben, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world through your paradox. So, can you please invite our listeners to support all your products?
Sounds fantastic. So yeah, and remember, your listeners will get access to a free sample using the link that you share with them, and they just need to pay shipping and handling, so they get $125 worth of products for free.
Yes, people, and I want to avail that, Mr. Ben. Who knows? We have a partnership. I have a lot of podcasts, and yes, people, let's support Mr. Ben because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering products will rise. So, Mr. Ben, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
Monica people, see you soon.